just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Packer Up Boys. We've been away a couple of weeks, very busy. Matt, I think he stubbed his toe last week, couldn't come in.
My apologies.
Me, the week before, I had too many meetings to get in and too much work to do. But let's get to the ritualistic. Oh! Woo! Oh, God. That gets me fired up, baby.
How good is it?
You know what else gets me fired up? Origin chat.
Oh.
Holy moly.
It's funny how we walked in here and you were like, oh, I got something after. We got to get going. And then we sat here for 20 minutes and talked about Origin.
Yeah, I'm like, literally, I've got a meeting in like less than an hour. And we started talking about Origin for 20 minutes. Well, we'll get straight into it. Let's get straight into it.
Tino should be banned.
Get him out of here. No, I'm joking. No, what we were talking about was the Cleary argument.
Yeah.
The Cleary argument, you know, there's people that feel that, you know, he should be under pressure, and then there's myself who feels that, like, he has the winning percentage, and, you know, even Tom and Eddie, well, Tom more so felt he should be under pressure. He hasn't really delivered. Right. Anyway, if you watch the DMP, you would have seen the conversation. And then obviously in the comment section,
give it a watch. It's a good argument.
It's a great argument because Tom represents a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
That feel that way. Me personally, you know, when you compare him to any greats outside of the 8 in a row, he is on track to be a great. Now, does that mean he needs to be Joey in 2005? No. I think people are conflating him owning an Origin series with winning an Origin series. All that I think New South Wales should be focused on is in the team. If he's in the team, do we win? Yes, we do. 3 out of 5 anyway so far.
Yeah.
This Origin moment, that's just like a cherry on top. You know, that's just a cherry on top.
Well, keep in mind that, like, we talk about Joey's Origin moment, but let's talk about Freddie's for a second. Freddie had retired from Rep 40 3 years before that. So Freddie never really got his, which is ridiculous. The Origin moment thing's like a bit silly because Freddie's New South Wales, you could argue he's our best ever player, in the Origin arena. But Freddie had his Origin moment 3 years after he retired.
Yeah.
So
this like, oh, he hasn't owned an Origin. Like, that DCE's first owning of an Origin was in 2022 when he was like 32 or something like that.
Yeah.
32 years old. And like, so I just don't understand. He's not the guy that needs to have the superstar moment because he's a 7 that controls games. Like, even Cronk, outside of maybe some field goals, did Cronk ever completely like own a series as the number one player?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I guess it's a little harder when you've got so many
guns around you. But on the flip side, you could say that that's more reason to have owned a series.
Yeah,
some say he's the greatest 7 ever.
I tell you what, this is going to sound absolutely crazy. I reckon Cronk's Origin moment, and this is going to sound so dumb, so bear with me, was in 2014 when he broke his arm because they were 8 in a row, and as soon as he got injured, we won. Like, if Cronk didn't injure his arm, Queensland could have won 12 in a row.
And that's the thing. Cronk's not a highlights player. He's a get you around the field, incredible kicking game. Cronk is more similar to Cleary than Cleary is to Munster.
Yeah.
Cronk and Cleary, like, I would say Cleary has a little bit more flair, so you may get those big... Anyway, long story short, I just think that you got... currently, he's won 3 from 5. You know, if you don't want to count the 2019 because he wasn't in the last game, then Munster, you wouldn't count his. Anyway, we've been through the whole argument. I personally think that people are being way too quick to want to get rid of him. Like, we've got a guy that is he is on track to be the GOAT of all GOATs. Well, you know, he probably can't be that because of Cam Smith and that 8 in a row, but he's on track to be one of the GOATs, at least at Clubland. And I just, it really does blow my mind. It really does blow my mind that let's say you take away the argument that he hasn't owned an Origin yet. What other argument is there for him not to be there?
Yeah.
He's got the highest win percentage of anyone at the moment. He has won man of the matches, about what, 2 or 3?
So 2020 game 2, he won man of the match. And I think he might have won man of the match in another game as well. And he got now I know it was the unlosable series, but he got the Brad Phillip medal that year as well. So he's had some Origin moments. For sure.
And I mean, look, another thing as well, if you go back to, so a lot of people go, 2021, that was all Trell and Cleary. New South Wales actually just put up highlights from that game, like only 30 minutes ago. and Cleary had at least 2 or 3 try involvements, and so did Luai. People put shit on Luai all the time. Go watch those highlights. Luai was outstanding. So yeah. Anyway, that's what's great about Origin though, because I think the reason why it's so polarizing is because people get so emotionally invested.
That's the thing. Like I am. Like no one's immune to saying dumb shit. Like I'm not, and I'm not saying that the Cleary argument is dumb shit. But like I'm just talking about myself, for example. Like after game 1, dropping Teddy is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
But for about half an hour after game 1, I was like, man, he's got to go. He's got to go. That was fucking terrible. Now, obviously, we calmed down, and I probably had a few too many drinks, but calmed down. Like. Origin gets you emotional and fired up, and it's completely fine. But when you take a step back, I don't think that dropping Cleary is in any way, shape, or form a positive for New South Wales.
I will say though, whoever comes in, if they win at Suncorp and they win at home, his spot genuinely is under pressure. Like that's craziness that he wouldn't be.
If let's say Nico, for example, if Nico comes in at 7 and we win, different story.
Yeah, different story.
But that's not anything to do with Cleary. That's just because Nico
played so well.
Yeah.
I actually think you'll find that if that happens, it'll be Cleary, Nico in the halves together, 6 and 7.
Oh, I would love that, eh? Like I just reckon like Cleary. Now I'm not an X's and O's guy, but Cleary in the middle of the field, like just doing everything, and then Hines just swinging from left to right. Oh my God, I'd love that.
Yeah. Now also biggest Origin news. Before we get into it though, Bloke Lager now on special in all IGA liquor stores across New South Wales. Get onto the IGA website or our store locator, and you can find the nearest near you. Get in there. We're having like the beer is literally flying off the shelves.
Yeah.
Literally, we're actually struggling to keep up with demand in regards to like brewing, and that's how much people are loving the beer. And I'm not even like taking the piss, like literally from a business perspective, we are struggling to keep up. I just got off the phone to our operations manager of him wigging out trying to get the beer all together. So thank you so much for the support, and it just shows it's a quality beer, guys. Man, beer, the beer industry, it's so romantic, but geez, it's hard work. Jeez, it is hard work.
Yeah, I can't obviously I'm not involved in it, but I'm just looking from afar, and it seems like it's a not struggle, but there's more goes into it than you'd think.
Absolutely.
We had that episode about a month ago, what goes into the beer industry.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
and also it's one thing, like I always, even to my beer reps and everything, sometimes a new beer will launch and the grass will look a little bit greener, and they'll get, Denon, well, like this beer's doing this, like why can't we do this? And I'll be like, look, we're a small company, our business plan is to stay lean and mean, and so that we can last the test of time. Yeah. So a lot of beers, when they launch, they have this hype period, and it's like 12 to 16 months. We had it as well. When we first launched, just everyone wanted to try it. The real test of a beer is lasting. Yeah. Because once that hype period wears off and then people get back into their routines, they go back to their old beers, and the fact that Bloke is selling more than it's ever sold shows you it's a high quality beer, because you can only hype something up so much. Eventually the product has to be quality. Plus, if you can have a quality product plus an audience that you create content for, I think that's the perfect. I mean, that was always the plan: create content for an audience and then create a product for that audience, and that obviously is what the beer. Anyway, let's get into footy, because I know people will be sitting here going, "Bloody hell, let's talk about rugby league." And also, Packer Up Boys. Before we get into the footy, Packer Up Boys is brought to you by Sportsbet, the best in the business. I don't need to tell you guys, Sportsbet's number one. If you're going to gamble responsibly. They've got a brand new feature, Share a Bet. So basically you press one button, boom, you can copy your mate's bet and have a punt. Make sure to gamble responsibly though, guys.
I've been using that one a lot, the Share a Bet, me and my mates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We always used to screenshot each other's bets to each other, in the group chat. And I'll copy that. But now, bang, straight
Such
in.
a good feature. Such a good feature. I know that they may not have been the originators of it, but whoever originated it, great feature. Now let's get into the chat from last night. Appy Koroisau fractures his jaw from a tackle. Tino Fasor Malawi. Look, I think, if I'm being totally honest, I think the chat around him being suspended, I know he's cleared to play, but I think the chat around him being suspended is craziness.
Well, he didn't even get charged. He didn't even get fined. So,
we have to come to grips with the fact that we play a contact sport. Sometimes things go wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are going to get injured. Now, I know some people go, he did it last week against Marnie. That should actually kind of tell you what's happening here. These are both small players.
Yeah.
Tino's, can you please get his height? I think he's 6 foot
6'6". He's 6'6". I looked the other day.
He's 6'6". His elbows are where their heads are in tackles. Like, how's he supposed to?
And Appy's like, I saw Appy the other day. He's shorter than I am.
He's tiny. He'd be like 5'9", maybe.
Yeah.
5'9", 5'10" max.
Yeah.
So you're looking at like,
almost a foot difference.
Almost a foot difference, which is quite a lot. And look, no, I love Appy. And as a Queenslander, I want Appy to play. I want every single player to be fit and healthy for Origin for New South Wales because I want to beat your best team possible as a Queenslander.
Yep.
So I'm not like, oh, yes. I've never been of that mind of like, yes, such and such is out. No way. I'm like, put your best 17. If you beat us with your best 17, fair enough. But look, if we started suspending for that, you would honestly have a player suspended once a set.
I think in this particular situation, two things come into play. A, the next game Tano plays Origin. So I think a lot of Blues fans probably get fired up and want him gone, which, and that's Origin. That's why we love it, and that will never change. And two, because of the Reid Marnie thing. Now, like, I get if there's another broken jaw in a month, then you probably start thinking, there's a bit of a pattern here. But I just think they were two very unlucky things that happened very close together. If you look at the replay, he didn't even elbow him.
It's not his elbow.
He got him on his wrist.
And also, Appy's head is on the wrong side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't understand the calls for suspension. And I feel a bit sorry for Tino because he doesn't need to go out and intentionally elbow people in the head. These are two smaller guys that his elbow height is literally where his head's at. Now, no matter what I say, there's going to be passionate people that don't like Tino or whatever and say, that's craziness and he raised his elbow and duty of care. And I understand that. I understand the argument that you could make, duty of care, but that we have to, I think it's asking a bit much to expect a player running the ball to now have to worry about where his forearms land.
Yeah.
Now, if he's cocking his elbow up, like if you can show me a screenshot of him cocking his elbow up like that.
That's different.
That's completely different. Whereas like if I'm pushing out like that, you'll find that once a set, like literally once a set, pushing out like that. Like I used to do it as a winger. You're bracing for contact.
Yeah.
It's when your elbows are going like that's a concern. And I think that's how they look at it as well, is the angle of the elbow. So... yeah, like for example, the week before in the women's game, I think was it Isabel Kelly? See, that looked like a raise. That was like fully raised like that. Like it looked like, whereas like Tino it felt more like pushed out like that. So, I personally don't think he had anything to worry about. Definitely not intentional. And I feel sorry for Appy. I really do.
It's terrible for Appy because like the Tigers.
He's a bit older. Reece Robson's snapping on his heels. And he hadn't made that 9 spot his own, but he definitely pushed himself in Freddie's eyes above the pack in regards to he's my man.
I've got a question for you, and I found this very interesting listening to Cam Smith talk about this greatest hooker of all time. Do you reckon Blues would have gone with Cook and Appy for game 2?
I just think you have to. I just think you have to have at least someone that can rest Appy. Because like the problem with Appy in game 1, he didn't play bad at all. He played solidly. But the problem is the one part of his game that you wanted, he's too gassed to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You need him, like when Harry Grant comes on, now obviously we're defending the whole time, but all the other Origins he's come on, he comes on full of energy, just running and breaking the game open. And he wouldn't be able to do that if he played 80 minutes.
Yeah.
We wouldn't see the same Harry Grant that we see in Origin if he was playing 80 minutes. I just think you need at least someone that can give him a rest. Someone. So whether it is Cookie or whether it's you move Luai or even Cleary maybe for 10 minutes. I know that sounds like bonkers. I actually think Cleary would make a good 9. I really do. Even though I think he's a 7, but I can see him being super crafty around there, and also he's a good defender. But anyway.
Would you... This might sound a bit weird, but would you just throw Cam there for 15 minutes just so the spine doesn't get disrupted?
I just don't know how much Cam is a hooker.
Yeah.
Cam Munster. Cam Murray.
Cam Murray.
I don't mind. Look, I personally would have gone with Cookie first, but I wouldn't have minded the idea of Appy and Reece Robson.
Yep.
Because Reece Robson, I believe, has the physicality to be like Cotter. I think Reece Robson and Cotter's physiques look exactly the same to me.
So do you think Robson's in line to play this game now? Because Cookie's going to be the 9, maybe.
I think so.
So Robson could be 14.
Well, maybe, but we know Cookie. The thing is, we know Cookie can play 80.
Cookie can play 80, yeah.
At Origin level.
Yeah.
The question is, though, has the game changed so much in such a short amount of time that you no longer can play 80 in Origin as a hooker? I'm not sure. But as I said, I would have gone with Cookie from the start. I think that you're probably... Like, a lot of people have Reece Robson, Matty Burton at 14. That's good to cover injury. It just depends on what you want to go.
To me, it's out of them two, and there's no one comes close.
Yeah, I mean, Jackie Whiten would be so perfect now.
What?
He would absolutely nail that. I mean, if he wasn't starting centre, he would absolutely nail that 14 role. Play 6, play hooker, play 13.
Yeah,
and that is the real beautiful thing about Queensland's team, that they've been fortunate enough where they've got so many players that can play other positions. Like Harry Grant can play 13. Benny Hunt can play literally anywhere. Like, honestly, I'd trust Benny Hunt in the front row, but he can play 9 at a high standard.
He played
in the centres. He played 7 at a high standard. 6 is a high standard. He can do a job on the edge in regards to like a wide running forward tackling.
Yeah.
Harry Grant, he could play 13. I reckon he could play edge back row if he had to. And so we've got all these players that can cover positions. The concern for New South Wales is if you don't put Burton on the bench, if Hines, Luai go down, you literally just don't have someone. Yeah. And so that is the problem. Whereas like Queensland, Munster, he can play anywhere in the back line, literally. Could play lock. DCE, probably a very specialist half. Could play 6 if he had to, but 6 or 7. Holmes can go back to fullback if he needs to. Hamiso could. Selwyn could. And so, like, the beautiful thing about Queensland's side is they have players that can really play a lot of positions. Yeah. They have footy players, air quotation marks. Not to say that New South Wales don't, but it's just that one spot of halves or that utility. Ben Hunt changes everything for us. He's so important. Like, imagine our team without Ben Hunt. We'd either have to play Harry Grant for 80 or we'd swap Reid, Marnie and Grant, but then we would be in the same position as you, because if a 6 or 7 goes down, we don't have a 6 or 7 in the bench. In
an ideal world, I know there's people ahead of Matty Burton at 6. Like Cody Walker, for example, in my opinion, is best. Him and Munster best 6s in the comp at the moment. Luai's the incumbent, and maybe one day, maybe next year, Matty Burton will be at the level where he's knocking down the door. But if Burton was like, if Matty Burton was like in the best form that he can be in, he'd be so good at number 6 for us, because then he could be that utility while he starts at 6, and then you could have a hooker on the bench as well. Yeah,
he could be. Well, but then
actually, no, not really.
If someone gets injured,
true.
As I said, Ben Hunt changes everything for us. You need what you need a world class 7 that can play 9, and that's why I like Cleary. I just love it. Like, is there a world where you go Cleary 9, Hines 7, and like Walker 6 or Moses or Luai?
It's weird because like if you,
I know it's crazy, but Joey played a lot of games at 9. He played a lot of 9, so I don't know. Like, it's thinking outside the box. Again, I've mentioned it a few weeks ago, and people shouted me down, and I get it. I'm not saying that I'll do it, but I'm not so far away from it. I'm really not so far away from
I thought
Cleary
you were
playing.
crazy when you said that, but the more you think about it, the more it makes some sense.
Well, Ben Hunt was as a 7. He struggled.
Yeah.
Comes back, plays 9, kills it. So if you put like Cleary as a 9, and then you could have a rotation bench of like, let's just say Cookie Robson.
Yeah.
And then you just not Cookie Robson. You'd have him and maybe Robson. Robson comes on.
Yeah.
He goes to
any of them really.
Or Cookie, whichever one.
Yeah.
They come on. He goes to that. Basically plays exactly like Benny Hunt does through the middle.
Crazy things have happened.
Again, look, guys, I know that's crazy talk. Like, I think Cleary is your 7 for the next whatever years.
I'm going to get the Joey stat up.
The only thing with the Joey stat that I think is like almost being debunked or a myth or whatever, I think when he comes on the field, he actually played 7. He defended maybe in the middle, and then he would play 7 role in attack. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a really interesting because, like, you know what? Like a spine of Cleary, Hines, Walker, Teddy. That's fucking scary.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's pretty fucking scary.
So Joey, so this is for Australia, not Origin. Joey's 17th game for Australia was his 3rd game at halfback.
Wow.
And none of them were on the bench. So he either started at hooker or at 5'8" or at halfback.
Yeah, wow.
Most of them at hooker.
That's amazing.
Fuck, that's yeah.
Anyway, so let's talk about real things, though. Real things.
Yeah.
Who do you bring in?
So tough. I can see both sides, but why did we pick Hines if he's not the next man up?
Yeah. So I'd go Hines 7. I think with Walker injury out this week, he might be good for Origin, but I just think you can't play him if he's not playing this week. I think you go Luai at 6. So it'd be super unfair for Luai to get dropped and Walker is under an injury cloud. That'd be pretty hectic.
If Walker can train from day one though, would you still say no?
Oh, it's a tough sell. Be pretty unfair on Luai. Like because I had Walker there.
Yeah.
I'd want him to go out, kill it this weekend.
It's a real shame he's not playing.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'd be like, look, mate, like he's killing it. He's a great combination. He's played with Hines before. But I think at the moment, it'd be pretty unfair on Luai to go.
I see that.
You know what I mean?
He
He didn't even play, but he's going to get your spot.
Yeah. I personally, maybe it's because of the South thing, but I'm willing to throw him straight in there.
Yeah. I'm thinking more about like the message that it sends. Because like then it's like everyone's on the chopping block.
Yeah.
And then like the problem, and people say, well, why is that important? Why is that important? Well, if you send messages that like everyone's spot is up for grabs, people play within themselves because they're scared of making mistakes so that they don't get dropped.
Yeah.
And so you need to find a balance between showing faith in a player but also making the right calls. I think Queensland do that really well.
I fully understand that. It's just, it's really hard to ignore what Cody Walker's done this last 5 years.
Sure, for sure. I get you. And then in regards to be honest, I think you've just got to hope that Cookie can play 80 in this current game.
For sure. Yeah.
Obviously, he did it 2021. He played 80, didn't he?
He's played 80 in all but one game, I think.
Yeah. So
maybe 2.
So probably can. He probably can. And then I think that you go Matty Burton at 14 to cover your halves.
I definitely agree with that. And like I know, even though Matty Burton might not get a lot of minutes, I just like the fact, especially because Hines is a good long kicker, but he's no Moses, he's no Reynolds, he's no Cleary, and Luai and Walker both not much kickers as well. So it's good to just have that extra option floating around as well, that Burton can put up one of his bombs or put some long kicks in. Yeah. I think that is a good sell for me as well, just as a little backup, even though it might be relevant because he might barely even get on the field, but. Yeah, that's what I like about Burton too.
The problem is if you don't go Burton on the bench and Hines or Luai go down, you're done.
I know.
Like you're just done. How would you possibly?
I think it has to be Burton for me.
You just gotta, but then you put yourself in the same position as you had last game, where it's like, well, what's the plan then? Is the plan just to sit him on the pine for 80 minutes, like with Hines, and if someone gets injured, you bring him on instead of utilising your 17 players to a game plan specifically? Because that's what the benefit Queensland has right now is they've got a game plan and all 17 players are going to get on that field.
Yeah. I think if the game plan is to wait and see and then maybe throw him on a hooker, then don't pick him. Because what's Matty Burton going to do at hooker?
No, he's not a hooker.
Yeah, so
you think move Luai into hooker? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'd probably go with that.
Just for 10 minutes?
Just for 10 minutes if we need to, or if you don't need to, just give Luai a 10-minute spell and put Burton on.
Yeah, that's tough because then like Luai might be trying to build combinations. He might be trying to work a certain player over.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
It's a really tough call because, as I said, if you go Reece Robson with Cookie, great game plan. You can use all 17 players, but one thing goes wrong.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
You're in a bit of strife now.
God, it's tougher than you think, isn't it?
I would say though, if Trellimit is sweet, I could see him playing 6.
Yeah,
so if Luai goes down, he could probably play 6.
That's not a bad point. And then if Hines goes down, you can just
hope that Luai can step into that role.
Luai and Trell can just be in the halves. Yeah.
So maybe that's an option.
It's an option,
because Trell definitely could play 6. Got the hands. He could play anywhere. He could play front row if he wanted to.
Yeah.
He's like one of the only players like Greg Inglis that could literally play from one all the way to front row.
It's crazy.
Insane. That's where I could maybe and just hope that we can get Luai that led Samoa to a World Cup. I understand the level of footy is totally different, but
isn't it funny that in all these situations, you're either putting all your eggs in Luai or you're dropping him.
Oh, it's bizarre.
Yeah, I feel bad like just saying the thing about Walker, but like it's nothing against Luai. It's just the fact Walker's killing it. But yeah, I hope. I mean, Luai killed it in game 1. So
and the sad thing is like Charlie Mitt is in doubt for game 2.
It doesn't sound good.
It doesn't sound good at all. Why? The fact that he's even still in doubt, like they should have pretty good understanding of how long a little strain takes to heal. And it's the game is still 14 days away?
It's 12 days away, yeah.
So it's like, that means it
would have been a month injury or like a 3 4 week.
Yeah, 3-4 week injury.
With a calf?
A calf strain?
And he's not old.
So he must have torn
Must have fucked it really bad, yeah.
Far out. That sucks. Okay, let's get to it. 9 Now. Stream live NRL games for free on 9 Now. Also, stream Origin exclusively live for free on 9 Now. I'm sure that the servers will be much better. Game 1, I think there's an initial period where they broke the record for live streaming event in Australia on Game 1 Origin. And so the servers got absolutely annihilated. So I think they're going to have a much better preparation. So this Origin, they'll be ready to go, I hope, for the best coverage in the game. And also, it just shows you the power of the Bloke community. You smash the servers to pieces, guys.
I love 9 Now. I get so excited when Fatty Vaughan's in the commentary box.
Mate, he's the best.
Even last night, Tino's try last night, and he's like, a 63-year-old Fatty Vaughan could have scored that one.
He is so good. The commentary is just...
It's elite.
It's elite. Like, you got Cam Smith, you got Fatty, you got Billy, Freddie, Joey. It seriously doesn't get any better. Gus. So make sure all the games that are on 9, make sure to watch them on 9, because by watching them on 9, you're actually supporting Bloke, because the better we go and the more people watch it on 9, the better access we get to their talent, the bigger Bloke gets. So watch it on 9 when you can. Titans defeat the Tigers. It's funny, we said this show would like not be about rugby league, but we just can't help ourselves.
It's the middle of Origin.
It's the middle of
Origin.
Origin.
You can't help it.
I will say, Titans are staying in touch with the 8, which is good. Plenty of games left, but staying in touch. The win was great from Titans, but I'm not of the mind that the Titans can't win footy games. They can win footy games.
Yeah.
My favourite bit of the game, second half, the ball was in play, I think, for 9 to 10 minutes. And that's also something that 9 has. I'm not sure if Fox have it, but 9 have this, it's called the fatigue factor or something.
Yeah.
And it tells you how long the ball has been in play. And why that stat is important is because usually teams train for the ball to be in play for like 2 to 3 minutes. Anything after that, like lactic acid starts building up, mistakes starts being made. So usually it's like a 2 to 3 minute blocks that you see. Anyway, what I loved about the Titans' performance last night is the ball was in play for 9 to 10 minutes against the Tigers. And we know the Tigers can grind it out because that's what they've been doing for the last X amount of weeks. The Titans went with them tit for tat. Matter of fact, they won that battle of that 9 to 10 minutes. And I just think that's really good signs. Now, we don't know. Titans can change week to week. But from what we saw last night, that's the direction you want to head in. The grindy bits, battles, 9 to 10 minutes with the ball in play, you won that battle. That's a battle that Titans don't usually win.
Yeah, and that's exactly your point. That's not what they used to. Like you look at last week, the game against the Rabbits, they're up at half time, but it was try for try, and that's not what you like. It's exciting to watch, but that's not what you
can't build a season on that.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And
so
if you don't have a set way of style of playing, that especially with defense, you're just going to rock up each week. And if you hope to just outscore the opponent, certain bounces of the ball don't go your way, certain calls don't go your way. Whereas if your defense is like airtight, like we see with the Panthers, you give yourself a platform to make mistakes. Some games you might rock up and make 70% completion rate, but because your defense is so good, you can keep them to 12 points and all you got to do is score 2 tries to stay in the game. Yeah. Whereas if you don't have good defense, you've got to be chasing, you've got to say to yourself, we've got to score 34 points just to win it. Whereas the Penrith Panthers, statistically, all they have to do is score 16 points. So what's that? 3 tries. Yeah, 3 tries. 3 converted tries. That's 18 points. Yeah. So if they score 3 converted tries, they can almost guarantee themselves a win.
Yeah.
Think about how much easier that is than, we actually have to score 30 points to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's totally, it's a different era, a different way of thinking, a different mindset, way less anxiety in attack, like everything. So that's great from the Titans. I think that 10-minute period, Tigers, devastating. Not the result. Luke Brooks, Appy Koroisau, both out.
It's shocking. Yeah, it's
Their
not
season is absolutely... I mean, it's done in regards. So they're not making the 8.
Well, they were, like, I'm sure most people wouldn't have had them in their 8 at this point, but like they were being competitive and they were being exciting. And one thing I've loved about the season so far, I've talked about it a lot. I've never been excited for a Titans-Tigers game before, and last night I was. Like the Tigers they were slowly coming together as a team with new recruits always do. Now it's just gone.
And like 2 players out of your key combinations.
Yeah.
So the season's over. It'll just be about now. If I'm the Tigers, I guess coaching staff or whatever, I am putting in combinations that are for next year. You know, so I don't care about the results anymore because we're not making the 8. Appy Koroisau and Luke Brooks here are key guys. So maybe I get some game time into my young halves that are like 18 years old. They might get absolutely pumped, but at least they're getting game time and we're building towards the future. Every single selection this year, if I was a coach, as long as you're safe, and I think obviously Tim Sheens is pretty safe right there, and obviously Benji Marshall, every selection would be about next year.
Yeah,
every selection. So let's say I've got a number 6 or something that is probably too early for him to debut, but he's the man that I've identified to partner Luke Brooks long term, and let's say it's not Wakeham.
Yeah.
I'm bringing him in straight away and he's playing his preferred position. If there is a 13, I know Bolle's been outstanding. He's improved out of sight. But if there's a genuine 13 that's a bit younger that I wasn't going to debut this year, but he maybe would have debuted. You know what I mean? Yeah. Every single selection would be planning for next year. But yeah, Appy Koroisau out. As soon as he went off, they are just... It just shows you how influential he is on that team because they just completely fell apart.
Yeah.
Completely fell apart. I will say some positives, though. Jareem Buller.
Oh, I love him, eh?
He is so good, it's a joke.
How do you fend off Tino like that?
And okay, we're talking about... Sorry, guys, this is the meeting that's coming up soon. We're talking about the game's over. Or the game is on the line at least, but the game's pretty much over.
Yeah.
And you've got no 9, you've got no 7, you've got no momentum, and you just pick the ball up as a young, what was he, 20 years old?
I don't know, yeah.
20 years old, 21 years old, and just go, you're in your 5th, 6th, maybe 7th max game, and you just go, bang, origin forward, see you later, through a gap, try time. Oh, man, he is special, Buller.
Isn't it wild that, because remember when he got brought in, he was their 4th fullback in 7 weeks or something. Everyone's like, what the fuck, and rightly so. And even Guru, who knows everyone, was like, I've barely heard of this bloke.
Yeah.
And now he's killing it. He's
killing it.
Him and, I was listening to Captain John, him and Preston are easily 1 and 2 for Rookie of the
sure. Preston, Bulldogs, and Buller. I'd probably have Buller ahead, to be honest. Maybe, yeah. He is, after last night, I just... That was outstanding. That was incredible.
Amazing.
That individual try that he scored.
He's such a, just looks like an athlete.
Super athletic, but also deceptively strong.
Yeah.
A very good read of the game. Gets through a bunch of work.
I got told as well, because you know how the other day I said he was born in New Zealand.
Yep.
His father has Indigenous heritage and also Fijian heritage. And then I just said he's probably eligible for New South Wales as well because he moved over here. Someone DM'd me. They're like, no. He moved to Queensland when he was that young. So he might be eligible for Queensland. I actually don't know.
Oh, yes.
But he's eligible for everyone, put it that way.
Yes, that's another Queensland. That's in Queensland.
Not confirmed, but I think so. I don't know. Maybe get some clarification.
He is something special. He really is. And he's the full package. His ball playing's getting a little bit better each week. He's only going to get stronger. He's only going to... there's so much frame to fill out too. He hasn't come close to filling his frame out. So that is...
He's very... very safe under the high ball as well.
Mate, gun.
It's just, he gets peppered, and he had one poorish week, but other than that, he's been great under the high ball.
I am so excited to see him just blossom. Seriously.
Yeah.
He's just going to be, and that's what's devastating. Like the more time he spent with Brooks and Appy, the better he's going to be. And then all you just got to get is find that six that can work with Brooks really well. And all of a sudden you've got a side that can fight for the top 8.
Yeah.
Look, Tigers fans, devastating night. Season probably over. And I'm not being disrespectful to the players that are currently playing, but like without Appy and Brooksy and also Dewey long term, far out. Look, it'll be one. If they go on to even battle for the 8, that's incredible. Yeah. Incredible. And I do feel like their forwards have been underappreciated. Like Clemmer, Bateman, and Papali'i have been pretty phenomenal last month.
Clemmer's been in the best form of his last 5 years.
Killing it.
Happy to see him score last night. That was a nice reward for never missing tackles. He's great, Clemmer.
All right, let's get to some tipping. Let's change our tips from early in the week. We got the Raiders v the Warriors. I'm getting nervous about this one.
Same. I was listening to Freddie and Joey on Freddie in the 8th, and like, I everything they say, like I just eat it up. And they were like, I think Matt Thompson was like, "Oh, the Raiders win easy for Croker." And they both were like, "I don't know, it's a lot of pressure for one guy."
And also, like, they could come out, be overzealous, over passionate,
yeah, for sure,
and find themselves 20 minutes in, gassed out, made a couple of errors because they're going too hard. And this Warriors side is different. Like,
I love the Warriors.
I'm getting a feeling of like they almost are relishing the opportunity to ruin the party.
Yeah,
I'm getting that feeling. I'm still going to go Raiders, but I'm getting nervous with that pick. Whereas if you had asked me at the start of the week, I would have gone boom, Raiders, 100%.
I'm in the exact same boat. I'm going Raiders by 2, but.
So Raiders, this is obviously all brought to you by Sportsbet, guys. Raiders paying $1.50, Warriors paying $2.60. So a bit of value there. Love a punt. Obviously, do it responsibly, but do it on Sportsbet. Now, Manly Sea Eagles versus the Dolphins. I just think that DCE, Tom Trbojevic back.
Yeah, now because Turbo's back, I'm going Manly.
Yeah, Tommy back. Look, if they don't win, it's alarm bells. Seriously, alarm bells. What a strange season for Manly Sea Eagles. Like, come out the gates, win the preseason, come out, couple of wins.
I felt very underwhelmed by Manly this year.
Super underwhelmed. They really have not fired a shot in regards to consistency. Like, they come out and you thought they turned it around against the Melbourne Storm, and I don't know. But with DCE in fine form, with Tommy back, I think they get the job done against the Dolphins. But I'm always nervous tipping against the Dolphins.
Same, 100%.
$3. They're paying $3.
I'm not putting my money on Manly, put it that way. Not at $1.30 or whatever they are.
No.
But I'm tipping them, but you just don't know with the Dolphins.
I don't know whether that's value, $3 or not. Anyway, I mean, chuck a cheeky $10. Can't go wrong.
I don't mind it, actually. I think the value
$3 is, with their record of upsetting teams, they've upset much bigger than Manly.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I think there's a few coming up that I think are good value.
So I don't know when you took the screenshot of this morning.
Yeah. So the Dragons haven't changed. They're
still the same.
I'll check now, but I took that screenshot like 2 hours ago.
Okay, so Dragons v Rabbitohs. Dragons currently paying, and look, obviously, guys, this is as a podcast recorded, 12 o'clock.
Sorry, it has changed. They're $2.25 now.
Still good.
Yeah.
So the Rabbitohs, they're $2.25 now, but as soon as Cody Walker got announced, you should have got on the Dragons. Not because they're going to win, because they will value. Because the Dragons are playing at home against Rabbitohs without Cam Murray, Jai Arrow, Cody Walker,
Trell Mitt,
and
Tommy Burgess.
I
think, and also, I know the Dragons are sitting in last, and I know they've been really bad, but they went toe-to-toe with Penrith.
Yep.
They just beat the Roosters. They're not
as far as off people think.
Nah, and they lost a lot of games by about 2 points. So but Ben Hunt's playing for the Dragons. I'm the biggest bias South fan in the world, and I'm thinking of tipping the Dragons. I'm not going to, but it's South are depleted.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Dragons.
Yeah.
I'm going to change my tip. I think I went Rabbitohs early in the week.
It's at home for the Dragons too, at Cogra, 3 o'clock on a Saturday, which is usually prime for people like Cody Walker.
Yeah.
All
right, Brizzy Broncos Knights. Brizzy paying $1.20, Knights $4.50.
Broncos are hot as. I reckon they'll pump.
Going to be interesting to see how the Broncos bounce back from that incredible win last week? Like, do they get complacent? I don't because they won from defence, not from their attack.
I think after last year, this Bronco team is in no danger of getting complacent.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, yeah, you'd hope so. If not, then they haven't learned their lesson.
Look, if I'm being honest, on paper, this should be a 13-plus win.
I think so.
I'm sure the hindsight heroes will come out if we get beaten and be like, oh, you thought it tell us up. But I do think that the Brisbane Broncos are a substantially better side than the Knights this year.
Someone, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was after the Sharks versus Knights game, and I said on this show, I'm like, I'm nervous. I think the Knights could do them, and Sharks won by 20. But I still tipped the Sharks. Yeah. And he either commented or DM'd me.
I saw that. Oh
yeah, he must have commented. It's like, blah, blah, blah. Like, what do you mean? I tipped them correctly. I just said I was nervous.
Yeah. Hindsight heroes, they're the best. They're the best. And what I'm saying isn't controversial. The Broncos are paying $1.20, so clearly they're the massive favourites. But as I said, if Knights, put it this way, if Knights go out and beat Brisbane, that's incredible. Fucking well done. Well done.
Why the NRL is one of the best competitions in the world, because anyone can beat anyone on their given day. So,
well, absolutely, the Knights can be the Broncos. This is not a sure thing. If it was the Penrith Panthers versus Knights, and I know they had a really close win, but if it was prime time Penrith, the best at their tippity top, then I would be like, look, there's almost no chance the Knights beat them. But the Brisbane Broncos are not at that level yet.
No.
Now onto the Sydney Roosters versus the Penrith Panthers. Sydney Roosters $2.50, Penrith Panthers $1.54. I am going to go, this is value as.
Yeah, see, I'm disagreeing with everyone here. Everyone reckons the Roosters just because Cleary's out.
I think Panthers are going to win.
Yeah.
But for Roosters to be $2.50 without Cleary, that's insane, the fact of how far they've fallen. We're talking about the Roosters here.
Yeah. Oh, no, I agree with that for sure. But I don't think they're any hope of winning. Because I think they're $2.50 because of how poor they've been this year.
I think they're a hope of winning. I do.
Sorry, that was a bit of mayo, but yeah.
I think Penrith Panthers, but I actually think this will be. You know what? Oh, I'm gonna go Roosters.
Yeah,
Fuck it. Yep, I'm gonna go Roosters.
Let me rephrase, because that was harsh. What I meant was people say, "Oh, Cleary's out. Roosters are value. Roosters are value." I'm just thinking take a step back. The Roosters have been really poor this year.
Poor.
Really poor. And I'm just going off that. Even without Cleary, Penrith are still really good. So I'm still pretty confident Penrith are going to win.
Storm Sharks, got to get through this quick.
Yeah.
I'm going Sharks.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sharks.
$2.50 is crazy good value, because I reckon Fitzgibbon is going to sit everyone down and go, boys, you essentially have Nico Hines' 7 jersey in your hands.
Yeah.
So we can either win it for him and give it that jersey to him. Because if Hines goes out, beats Storm in Melbourne, the jersey's got to be him.
It's wrapped up.
It's got to be him.
Yeah.
If he comes out and be's quiet and Reynolds kills it, then I could see a world where you go, mate, you can't be, if you're not killing it coming into Origin, then.
Yeah.
And so I think the Sharkies are in for a big one, real big one.
No, I'm with you. Agreed.
Dogs versus Eels.
Yeah, I'm going Bulldogs. This is my value one. Yeah.
$2.75 they're paying. Eels $1.45.
Yeah, no Brown. I don't know. Bulldogs have been plodding along. They haven't been amazing, but I think they'll get up for this one.
Yeah, I'm going on Eels. Mitchell Moses, he is auditioning for an Origin jersey.
That's a good point as well. Yeah.
So we'll see. Now, what else is there to talk about? I'll let you know as well, guys. Obviously, the weekend, if you use the code Johnson with Menulog, you get $10 off burger restaurants. So you go into categories, go to the top of the app, hit burgers. Anything in there, it'll be $10 off. You know why I love the Menulog partnership?
Yeah.
Is I can actually give people something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the perfect.
Yeah, 100%.
That is the perfect partnership where yes, I'm advertising them. Yes, that's part of the gig. It pays the bills. But being able to go
it's not 100%.
You get something out of it.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for everyone. Everyone wins.
Because delivery, everyone would deliver if it wasn't so the prices and that. But getting a discount on delivery is such a game changer.
It literally takes it from, why would I go and get it myself when it's the same price to get to my door?
Yeah.
It'd be stupid.
It's crazy, yeah. I love it. I think I've used every code so far.
Have you really?
I think I have, yeah.
You fucking motherfucker. we had this hilarious, it'll come out soon, but
Oh, so good.
I won't spoil it, but me and Cookie did some content for the Menulog, Damien Cook, and it was an absolute disaster, but in the best kind. Like, I'm talking terrible.
It's like, it couldn't have gone worse, but it couldn't have gone
but
better.
also better. Like it literally was the perfect bit of content. That piece of content couldn't have gone any better for the content.
Like, you know, that's saying like you couldn't write a script. Like,
Yeah.
that is, you couldn't write this script.
Yeah.
It would just seem ridiculous.
It would seem ridiculous.
Like if we scripted that, it would have been like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
No one would ever believe that.
Yeah, for sure. It's too obvious,
Yeah.
too on the nose. Like, it's just crazy. What hobbies do you have?
Hobbies.
Or are you just rugby league to the bones?
I love watching footy so much. I seriously go on like YouTube and that and watch like just old shit all the time.
Wow.
I love it. I love it. I know you're a big gamer, but like I have a real short attention span. Like games, I've never been able to like.
But that actually is like a lot of people that have like short attention spans. Games is good for because it keeps you like engaged.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe only like Grand Theft Auto if I ever, or maybe one of the Call of Duty games where I've like really dialed into.
Really?
But I love playing like the sporty games. I don't know. Maybe because I'm like I was so bad at sport. It's like
you clearly just love sport.
Yeah.
Love sport. Have you watching the cricket?
Mate, I've been up till 2:30 both nights. And
Swear to God.
yeah. It's my favourite time slot because I know this is going to sound ridiculous. Everyone loves cricket in summer, middle of the day.
Yeah.
But I love just cricket starting at 7:30. Now, I had the footy on, so I missed the first session. But 7:30, and then you just sit back until 2 a.m. and like
There is something mysterious about the night.
oh, for sure.
There is something like everyone else is asleep. You've just purely got this time to yourself.
I think that's a big part of it.
And it's just like there's something romantic. It's dark. And you're just doing what you want to do you're not thinking about anything stressing you out. Well, hopefully, and if you run a business, you probably are thinking about it. But it's like purely just your time. And you're almost like being gluttonous to a degree. Like, I should probably be going to bed, so I'll be, up early and exercising. But you're almost like, no, I'm just going to enjoy myself.
100%. See what I did last night? I was watching the cricket. And like cricket's one of those sports where like, unless you're like a full-on legit fan, you got to be doing something else at the same time.
Yeah.
Like scroll or whatever. I was playing. Have you seen the new AI plugin?
Jesus Christ, are you a robot, bro?
System glitches.
Holy fuck, we're in the Matrix.
AI plugin for Photoshop.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it last night. Fuck me, it's so crazy. Like you literally, so it's like the beta version of Photoshop. It just came out, and I just YouTubed how to use it. And you can do all the stuff normally, but now it's like text command.
Yeah.
So I had a photo of Jermaine Asako downloaded, so I just put it in, and you just literally circle something and write whatever you want, and it just does it for you.
So does this mean that your photoshopping will actually be good now? Or?
I shouldn't have told you that. I should have been like, look how good I
Yeah,
am
bruh.
now.
Now you got to spend some fucking time doing it. I have to send it back to you 10 times going, error here, error here. No, I'm joking.
It's crazy. Like, for example, I just circled around Jermaine's legs, and I just wrote, put cricket pants on. And they just perfectly put on cricket pants.
What?
Like that. And then I just put, instead of holding a footy, hold a toy monkey. And it's amazing.
No
it's amazing.
way.
Yeah.
That is, it's just bizarre.
code.
Like we're living, I always say, people that are like, oh, imagine how crazy the future's going to be. Like, so for example, today, if you said, oh, imagine how crazy the future's going to be.
Yeah.
We're in the
here.
future.
This is it.
We're already in the future. Like, we were in the future when smartphones came out.
Yeah.
Like, put it this way. Let's say I rocked up one day and was like, had this screen inserted into my arm like that. You would be like, oh my God, you're a cyborg. And you're from the future.
Yeah.
But there is no difference. My phone is with me all the time.
100%.
So there's no difference. Like, I am a cyborg. It's just not in my body. Like, I never leave my phone anywhere. Contactable at all times. Have access to the world's information.
Yeah.
And it's with me all the time. The only difference is it's not connected to me. Or like, just because there's not flying cars, people think that we're not in the future. We are 100% in the future.
100%. Maybe go watch old Black Mirror. Some of those episodes, things are coming out now.
Well, like, okay, think about it like this as well. Think about when you watched a dystopian future movie, the content that they would consume would be like super outrageous reality TV shows. Like, and you'd be like, what? Like the Hunger Games or whatever. Now, I'm not saying that the Hunger Games exist, but we're there. Think about the outrageous reality TV show that we have. Also, think about how big Twitch is and YouTube gaming, where people watch other people game.
Yeah.
Like that used to be used as in the future. Like if you're watching a movie in 2005, a scene would be them watching another person playing video games.
Yeah.
We do that.
It's one of the biggest crazes on the internet.
it's literally like huge on Twitch. It's getting bigger on YouTube. Like, and then we've got AI that can. We're so far in the future that you can create like disinformation is scary. Like you can create me saying something that I never said.
100%.
That's how far in the future we are. So it's like this idea, the scary thing about the future that a lot of people don't think about, or, I mean, we're all working, so I don't have that much time to think about it. But people think that technology's growth is just a straight line up like that, but it's exponential.
Yeah.
So, and what does exponential mean? So like, you know, to the power of 4. So if you, let's say you double it every time you go up. So if I double $100, $200, $400, $800, you know, then $1,600. Before you know it, you're at like $1 million and you're only like 10 powers or 12 powers in. That's to a degree what technology is like.
Yeah.
So now that AI is invented and it's like genuinely doing things that we thought were ages away, the next jump's going to be even quicker. Think about, we've been around for, as humans, 250,000 years, as like civilized society, you know, maybe 500 years, let's say 1,000 years to be generous.
Okay.
Computers only came around, what, 30 years ago? Like as in, like
Accessible.
60 years, like computers in regards to like proper computing, you know, maybe 160 years or whatever.
Like accessible computers.
Accessible computers 20 to 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Think about how far we've come in 20 or 30 years, and yet we've been humans for 250,000 years.
Yeah, fuck.
That's
true.
a blink. That's a blink.
Yeah.
So imagine in 250,000 more years, like we'll genuinely be cyborgs. Like we probably won't even be like human physically. We will be like just in a fucking, like living in a matrix or whatever.
Yeah.
A legit matrix.
Well, the meta Facebook thing, the whole meta universe is a few years, only like a decade away, I think.
Well, when you think
Maybe
about it as
closer.
well, there's actually genuine, intelligent, like physics professors and all that. They think there's a thing called simulation theory that super, super high-end advanced aliens or whatever, that we're just living in a simulation. Like me, you, everyone right now, we're in a simulation. And it's a genuine theory. It's not just like some crazy conspiracy theory. Like there is a genuine theory. And if you think it's crazy, it's like, well, is it really that crazy? Look where we're at now, and computers have been accessible for what, two or so years.
Yeah.
Apple just released their VR thing.
Yeah.
Where basically you can put things in your, I mean, I know Microsoft did it a few years ago, but like we are already getting to there. Now, think about what it's going to be like in 100 years.
Yeah.
So 20 to 30 years, exponential growth, which means it's just going to get faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. So in 100 years, it'll be even more insane. Like, it's just blows your mind.
Yeah, there's actually no way of like saying what will be in 100 years, because you're right of how quickly the growth of technology and you're right, like our brains are just used to this one line of progression, and that's what we're used to. But then it's almost like it's not only has it caught up, it's gone past.
It's gone past us. We've got AI. Like, yes, it's not sentient, and it's, you know, once it is sentient, we're fucked.
Yeah.
We're literally dead as a species.
On YouTube. So speaking of hobbies, I get into like rabbit holes. Like even last night on AI, like I watch a video every week. It's like the new AI updates of the week around the world, because there's just so many. So many.
Yeah.
And like it's super interesting, but it's kind of just like, fuck, slow down.
Oh, I want them to slow down. I would like, look, I understand there can be heaps of positives with AI, but I just don't know, man. If it becomes sentient, we're done.
Fuck.
It could get the one wrong command. Like, it could be like, you could say to an AI, do what's best for humankind.
Yeah.
It could go out and kill us all,
everyone,
because that could be what's best for us. We need to be culled.
Yeah.
There's even like theories in regards to environmental, where every few thousand years or whatever, disease, like Mother Nature will create a disease to get the population back to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's why some argue overpopulation is going to be a massive problem on this planet. And it's so important that we get to another planet because we're destroying this one at the moment. It is scary stuff.
I tell you what you should do. You should make an AI Supercoach team and not tell Guru and Timmy and play it as your team, and it'll be the perfect team, and then you'll beat them.
Mate, that is a good idea. An AI Supercoach team. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I've got to head. I've got this meeting to get to. Make sure to grab a case of Bloke beer. We're in every single IGA plus liquor end on special right now. Plus, we're in every Liquor Legends across Queensland, every Celebrations in New South Wales, ACT, and Queensland. But as usual, I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.